Getting your membership of the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, the MRCEM, is a huge step in your career. And for 2025, the whole process has been updated. So let's break down exactly what this means for you with a clear, straightforward guide.
So, if you're mapping out your future in emergency medicine, you know that passing the MRCEM exams is a massive deal. Our goal here is to give you all the clarity you need to tackle these new changes head-on.
And honestly, the best part? The Royal College has actually gone and streamlined the entire application process. They've made the path to membership way clearer than it was before. So, let's get right into the specifics of what's changed.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at your path to MRCEM, starting with checking your eligibility. Then we'll dive into the 3 exam stages, understand this new thing called exam currency, talk about requesting adjustments, and finally, get you ready to start your journey.
First things first, eligibility. This is the absolute foundation, right? And here's something that's super important to remember. You must meet all the criteria at the moment you apply, not on the day of the exam itself. All right, for the very first exam, the MRCEM primary, the requirements are pretty straightforward. You just need a primary medical qualification that the GMC accepts, and you need to have current medical registration. That can be provisional or full. That's your starting line.
Now, moving on to the second exam, the MRCEM SBA. You can see how the requirements start to build on each other. You still need that PMQ, but now you gotta have full medical registration with a license to practice, plus 2 years of experience after your degree. And of course, you have to have already passed that first MRCEM primary exam.
And for the final hurdle, the practical OSCE exam, things get even more specific. On top of your PMQ and full registration, you now need 6 months of dedicated emergency medicine experience above that foundation level. And this is critical. You must have passed both of the other exams, the primary and the SBA. Okay, so we know who can apply, but what are the exams actually like? Well, there are 3 stages you have to pass, in order, and each one is designed to test a totally different part of your skill set. What I love about this is how you can see the whole journey laid out at a glance. You can really see the progression here, right? You start with a 3-hour theory exam, then you move to a longer 4-hour theory exam, and it all culminates in a nearly 3-hour practical exam. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So let's zoom in on stage 1, the MRCEM primary. This is your 3-hour theory exam. It's made up of 180 single best answer questions. And the content? It's focused squarely on the RCEM Basic Sciences curriculum. The great thing is, it's delivered at test centers all over the world.
After you pass the primary, you've got the MRCEM SBA. Now this one's a bit longer. It's a 4-hour theory exam, split into 2 papers with a break in between. Here, the focus gets way broader, covering the whole spectrum of conditions you'd actually see in the emergency department.
And that brings us to the final stage, the MRCEM OSCE. This is where the rubber meets the road, you know? It's a hands-on clinical exam with 16 different stations. They're designed to test not just what you know, but how well you apply it with your clinical and communication skills. You can take this one in major cities from London to Kuala Lumpur and beyond.
Okay, this next part is brand new for 2025, and it is really, really important to understand. It's a concept they're calling exam currency. Basically, it's a time limit for getting the whole qualification done. Let's break it down. So what does exam currency actually mean? It's pretty simple, really. Once you pass that first exam, the MRCEM primary, a 7-year clock starts ticking. You have to successfully pass the other 2 exams, the SBA and the OSCE, inside that 7-year window. So here's how that timeline plays out. The second you get that pass on the primary exam, boom, that 7-year window opens up. It gives you a really clear deadline and structure for planning out the rest of your qualification, and it makes sure your knowledge stays current. You know, whenever a big new rule like this comes in, it can be a little worrying, right? But the Royal College has been super clear about this. They have explicitly said that no candidate should be negatively affected by this change, and they've put things in place to make sure the transition is fair. And they're not just saying it, they're backing it up. For candidates who are already in the process, the college has gone ahead and automatically applied a 24-month extension to their accounts. That really shows they're committed to giving everyone a fair chance. Look, this is a tough journey, there's no doubt about it. But you're not in it alone. The college is really committed to fairness, and they have a whole system of reasonable adjustments for any candidates who need them.
And the key thing to remember is that help is available. We're talking about things like extra time on your exam, scheduled rest breaks, being able to access medication,
or even having a separate room or a scribe. There's also specific support for pregnant or breastfeeding candidates. The whole point is to make sure everyone gets a fair shot.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here, from who's eligible to the exams themselves and that new currency rule. So let's just boil it all down to the absolute must-know takeaways you need as you get ready to start this journey. So, to recap, what do you really need to remember? First, the 2025 rules are all about making the process simpler and clearer. Second, those eligibility requirements build up logically, one step at a time. Third, and this is a big one, you've got that new 7-year exam currency rule to plan for. And finally, don't forget that there's a ton of support available if you need it.
So there you have it. The path to MRCEM is laid out, and it's clearer and more structured than ever. It's a challenging goal for sure, but it's an achievable one that marks a huge milestone in your career. The only question left is, are you ready to take that first step?